Good afternoon. My name is Kevin Purifofy. I am currently pursuing my bachelor's degree in human services at Liberty University with the hopes of gaining employment at the VA working with disabled vets who suffer from PTSD and substance abuse. One research topic of interest to me is the effect of substance abuse on veterans in treatment for PTSD. Is it possible for someone to successfully go through PTSD treatment if they have a substance abuse issue, or should they address the substance abuse issue first? My research question would be that how much, if any, does substance abuse affect the outcome of veterans going through treatment for PTSD? Related articles to this question. The first one is called Treatment Outcomes for Veterans with PTSD and Substance Abuse Issues. This article touched on the importance of abstinence when it comes to treatment and the overall health of veterans suffering from dual diagnosis. It covers the clinical outcomes of veterans who have post-traumatic stress disorder and substance abuse issues, and how substance abuse impacts dually diagnosed veterans with PTSD. The next article was, Does substance abuse affect outcomes for trauma-focused treatment of combat-related PTSD? This article explores controversy over the comorbidity of substance use disorders, or SUDS, and post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, among veterans who have seen combat. To gain more insight into how substance use affects the outcomes of treatment in combat veterans with PTSD, this study compared the outcomes of veterans from two different test groups. My preferred method of research to answer these questions, I chose non-experimental method, so I will not be faced with any ethical considerations that could arise in conjunction with qualitative approaches, collecting non-numerical data through observation and one-on-one interviews with veterans in treatment to gain personal understanding of their experience, and the reliability of the information is greater because it comes from the veteran's personal experience accounts. The limitations to this, though, strengths and limitations, to this method I chose was the one advantage of qualitative approaches that it allows researchers to adjust for any situations that might arise during the research or the studies, which also gives it greater flexibility. It allows them to gain and gather information that they could not obtain through experimental studies. With the advantages, these approaches also come to disadvantages, which would be is very time consuming and can be expensive. Throughout the video, internal validity controls and threats, Professor Crawford, 2023, talked about the importance of protecting the validity of research. One way I can do this is to perform a double-blinded study, which will prevent the participants and the observer from damaging the validity of findings, because neither of them knows who's in the control group or the placebo group. Many methods of collecting data for my research project. I think the easiest way to collect data for my research question would be one-on-one interviews with veterans. This method would give me detailed information from their experiences and beliefs. This method is beneficial for gathering information that would not be possible through other available methods. The main drawback of this method is that it can be very time-consuming. Another method I could use is a survey method with open-ended questions, which open-ended questions allows the veteran to sit there and give more thought-out answers instead of a typical yes or no answer. It makes them actually think out the answer and give a longer response. This would allow me to collect information from the veteran without meeting them in person, saving time and money. Analyzing data method. When it comes to the task of analyzing data that is gathered through the research methods I chose, I think the grounded theory would be the most logical approach. The grounded theory approach generates theory from the data itself. Researchers start by examining individuals' case and then developing a theory that is grounded on the data. And in conclusion, I went over my research question: how much, if any, does substance abuse affect the outcome of veterans going through treatment for PTSD? I covered what research method I would use to get the information and the approach I would take. I also touched on why I chose this topic and its advantages and disadvantages, as well as some of the limitations and difficulties I could run into.